Now what I'm going to do just before I paint the boat in, I'm just going to show you how I construct them. Normally, if you imagine a figure eight which has been flattened, I'll draw this in pen so it stands out more, and I realise that I need to be spot on the thing. So I'm going to draw a figure eight. Now if you imagine that this one is slightly bigger than that side, it doesn't really matter. If you've got good 3D vision, you can already see that possibly this could be the front of the boat and that the back, or this the front and that the back. So I'm going to put a little area in here. And you should be able to now sort of visualize that that's inside the boat. This is the front. Okay, so you've got that shape, you've got that nice flattened 8 shape. So I'm going to take this away, and I'm not going to draw the 8 because I know what it feels like, so I'm just going to pretend that it's in there and put the back on. Now you need to paint it. If it's a sort of a nice old boat, do it like you did the tree, but this time you're horizontal. So we start off with a rib that goes down the length of the boat. Clean my brush, go back in underneath that and just pull the paint along. And again, if you leave little white spaces, that's a good thing. Then I'll do another rib, and of course now it's going behind the background bushes, so I might need to stop and start again. And I'll come down, clean my brush and take it down, and then one more. I think I have room for one more, just in there. Take that down, clean my brush, and leave it like that. It doesn't really quite look like a boat at the moment. You have to put the front piece on, so I'll put a line down there, clean my brush, drop it down. Then we're on to the other far side of the boat, the little bit that you can see, and I'm just going to do that like that for the moment, and lose that down into the undergrowth, which you might need to adjust to confuse the eye even more, so that the front of the boat is hidden. It's been dragged up onto the banking somewhere behind these bushes. Now at the moment it's sort of sticking out in mid-air, it's not actually doing anything, so we need to put it into the run out of blue, find some blue quick, into the water. So I'm going to put in some ripples, if you like, which is just a blue, and I'm doing them horizontally across the paper. I'll wet my brush and just spread them. Try and keep some of this white showing between the ripples. Okay, and then you can put some more reflections in there, but you need to leave it for a minute to dry. So I'm just going to go back in. The inside of the boat, which you can see a little bit of, you can paint in fairly strongly, just so you just get the impression that you can see inside that boat. Okay, now I'm going to go back in some of these and just suggest the edges of bits of planking and various things. I'm obviously doing this quite quickly. I don't suggest you work this quick, but we're trying to get all the information in a short space of time, so you know, I'm sort of reasonably pleased with my effort, considering the fact that I'm rushing it a bit. But so you've got your dark and your browns and your light tones, a little bits of white suggesting shape. You've got the front covering the front of the boat, so it's tucked into that undergrowth on the thing. You've got a little bit of ripple on the water, but it still doesn't look quite right there because there's no reflection in the boat, so you need to work on that, and just to bring in some reflection, just touch and go in the water. And you leave that. I'm not totally happy there. I would like to put some more shadow in, but it's still wet, so I need to leave it for a bit to dry out. And then not quite happy down here, so I'm going to shadow that in just to balance everything up. Okay. You could, if you wanted, if there was somewhere to put it, you could have ropes, like mooring ropes, coming across here. Obviously if I put a dark line here, you're not going to see it, it's just not going to be visible. So if you can't have a dark line, how about a light line? So you'd go back in with your fine brush and clean water, and you have a light line instead of a dark one. And then where you can make it turn to dark, you can do so. So up, I think we'll just block that. Up here you could make it darker, and suggest it's hooked onto something. So now you need to just fiddle and to sort of strengthen up things you don't feel quite works quite well. You could put a mast in, but I think it would probably look a bit ridiculous in this sort of situation. So I've still got a bit of space up here. So what could I put in there? Maybe I could have some distant mountains, and that's what I'm going to do to finish off the picture in the next video, and then we'll look at some other things that we can do with painting afterwards. So I hope that at this stage you've just about visualized all that you need to do to get to this stage. Now obviously this is a paint everywhere. This is a landscape with trees. It's a fantasy landscape. It's not something that is going to be anywhere specific, but the general rules apply. I'm wondering if we can zoom back out now, and if I move the painting back to its original marks, hopefully we can see the whole thing, and you can now see how the boat fits into the general plan of things. You might decide, well, I need more branches hanging over the boat, make it more atmospheric, if you like. Little touches, and every painting will be different. You'll just look at it in a different way and decide what you need. Hopefully you won't decide that you've put too much in, because with watercolour it's pretty much impossible to take lots of detail out again. But it is a quick medium. You can get a good result in an hour and a half, something that you can be quite pleased with. So the answer is to practice. You're not going to waste lots of time. You're just going to be doing an hour, 2 hours, and if it works, brilliant. If it doesn't work, try again. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.